All right, so our next one we have is forgetful, which I think is very interesting that the E in this is left out.
Yeah.
If it's like you forgot a piece of something.
When I was looking up this, the set list to make sure, the track list to make sure that we had this all in the right order, I was also seeing it being called Forgotten. So that was interesting too.
Okay, so we've got here RM in...
Forgetfulness. Sorry, it's Forgetfulness.
Okay, so RM in Kim Sawol, which...
don't know.
A lot of these features I'm very not familiar with, yeah. But
they've all been amazing.
They're working all so well together, and they've all got their own vibe that they bring to the song and their own power to it, which is just a lot of fun to get to hear. So
the song's a little shorter.
All right.
1, 2.
Ooh, it's like acoustic.
Yeah, with the guitar.
I have to start that over. I was not ready for him to come in and sing as softly as he was.
A guitar, like acoustic?
Yeah, I was not ready for that. Oh, and it is already very different. The other ones were very much...
The other ones all started not the same, but like in a same like vibe. This one...
You would put them together in a unit because of the
instrumentation.
Music and instrumentation. This one is already a little bit different.
1, 2.
He's struggling.
I apologize. I got really emotional when he said that he's only 26, which I know as the time this is released, he is a bit older, but I am currently 26, so that just hit me a little bit. Like, it hits no matter what your age, but that kind of shocked me a bit.
I want to say, because this is so like acoustic, it sounds very intimate.
It does feel very intimate.
And he's very much pulled forward in the vocal line, because I guess it's really all that's there, that's there, and it's almost like he's like right next to you in this one.
He's very close in your ear. Like,
yeah.
It's very much like he's whispering, or he's sitting with you on the couch saying these things to you. But I'm sorry, it kind of took me by surprise just how... Again, it doesn't matter what age, but it just...
수많은 가시들과 오고야마는 아침과 각자의 방식들로
And that's the typing. Wow. Just feel very intimate, very personal.
Raw.
The tapping on the guitar. Yeah. Oh, I love her voice.
Nostalgic.
Oh.
Is it gonna trail off?
They're getting so quiet.
It's gonna.
Are we walking away?
Wow. Okay, that was very different than the others.
Man, that one went straight to the emotions.
Like I said, it sounded. I mean, the whole vibe of the song was very intimate and raw because you're so close to the mic, and it's almost just like you. There's no room for like imperfection. Anybody's gonna hear it if you're. You know what I mean?
Well, that and when they kind of almost like they stand up and just walk away together at the end,
and it fades off.
like they were really sitting right there, and then they just get up and walk away. But very interesting to me. Very very much feels like when you've just got a lot going on in your head and your head is just so full of things and you're like, I'm sorry. I just the whole forgetful of I'm not doing it on purpose.
But you're aware.
But you are aware.
Because they're doing it to yourself as well.
Mm-hmm. And then the nostalgia of the grass. You remember when, you know, what that smelled like. And
which is a theme as well he's doing with the younger self. And
youth.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's go to our next one. All right, so we're continuing forward. We now have Closer. So we've got 2 features on this one. We have Paul Blanco and Mahalia.
Hopefully we're saying that right.
Yes. Again, not people that we're super familiar with,
but I'm excited to get to
yes.
know because everyone else on this album has been amazing.
So let's see which musical vibe we're going with this one.
Oh, straight out.
Mm. Oh, is it like yourself?
Mm. Like R&B. Oh, in the deep.
Don't cease, baby, don't wait floating. Wanna lock you up on my side, but you run away like fish.
Run away like
I keep you right next to me. Only just in my dream. I see you in right the grind. Don't make me off from stay. I think
Is it all English so far?
everything all the pain. Why you showed up in my life like this? You sudden, oh God, no.
I get a feeling sometimes that I can't get close enough to you. I feel it most in the nighttime, even though that's when I'm closest to you. If I could be under your skin, closer than
I'm a
we've
big
ever
fan of her
been.
voice.
Maybe closer than we've ever been.
Come all out of your front block, baby. Say the time, don't wait for nobody. Oh, I bet you thought, baby. But the time won't stop when you and I make our lips lock, baby. And once again, you made me misplace my pride, baby. Promise myself never.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll show you how I get down, baby girl. Come on, come on and
Changing the channel?
Please leave your message after the beep.
If love ain't for us, 이걸로만 좋아할게.
This sounds like a heartbeat almost. Oh, that's coming in clear now.
Oh, we're back.
Just looking at you. There's gonna be no day, so stay where you are. If there's no we can do, yeah, just looking at you. There's gonna be no day, so stay where you are. 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 Stay where you are.
Oh, I love that note. Okay. I originally thought like maybe it was kind of a metaphor for talking to yourself, but I have to admit that I do feel like this was
Is a relationship with another person.
or a love for them.
It almost seems like, yeah. Go ahead.
Doesn't feel quite attainable. Like even if all I have to do is just look at you from afar, I mean, that's not what I want you closer to me, but I don't always feel like I have that.
Right. They want them to stay because if it changes, it may not have that anymore. So if this is all I can take, then I'll take it, but don't move.
But I want to be as close to you as possible.
But the lyric about, what was it that she said, that I don't feel close to you, even though we should be like at the nighttime when we are actually the closest. Mm-hmm. It's when it's almost like you're feeling disconnected from that other person.
That's why it feels like it's almost that closeness feels a bit unattainable, even though you're right there and you're trying your hardest and you're telling them do not move. It still feels like there is a gap there. There is something.
It's harsh. That's harsh.
It's painful.
Yeah.
It's painful when you really have those feelings for someone or something and you feel like you're trying your hardest to really close that gap and you can't.
It's not necessarily a good thing either, just to be in that limbo either. So that's why it also is kind of harsh, because you're just that desperate that you don't want it to change, even though it can't get closer, and you don't want it to get further either.
Mm-hmm. But I really appreciated the mix of the three vocals.
It was R&B, wasn't it?
It did feel very R&B. They complemented each other's vocals and flows very, very well.
I think it was all Korean except for Paul
English.
had. That's what I'm saying. All English except for Paul had that one. Paul Blanco
Mm-hmm.
had that one section. It says it right there. That he spoke in Korean, and then all the rest of it was English. So that was different.
All right. Well, this definitely had a very different
I like
message to it than the other ones did. It felt less of like yourself and more about your relationship with somebody else.
But I mean, it's all I guess introspective, and all of him talking about, I'm assuming, this entire journey. And like I said, I think we'd mentioned it in Wildfires. He said that this had to do with like the ending of his 20s or something, right? So it had to do with encompassing
a lot of things that go with that.
Not
like
just like this. Yeah, internally, but also externally to others
things that
as well.
happen to you as you're growing and interacting with people and finding those connections. So, okay.
Change Part 2 is next. I'm curious because Change was with Wale, and that was quite a bit ago. So I wonder if it has, like, I'm assuming that they probably, obviously Part 2, I wonder if it's goes
a continuation or if it's a bit of a
change. What this means.
It could also be maybe just a continuation, could be a change in mindset. I don't know. It's been a while since that one, but we do not have any features on this one. So
it is just RM. But the first one was a feature with Wale.
Yes, the first change was
that's
a
what I'm
feature
saying.
with Wale.
So
Now this, and also on the album, this is the first one with him by himself. So
things change, people change, everything change.
That is very different from Change. It's aggressive. It's true.
Ooh.
Love change, friends change, everyone change. Yeah, it is no strange.
It's very
jarring.
Yes.
I can't believe I loved you once. Fool me once, then fool me twice. Shame on you, yeah, shame on me.
Who got darker?
I lost my sanity.
Oh, did you hear how the instrumentation stopped when he said the word lost? It got quiet for like half a second.
Shame on me. Think I lost my sanity. Chemistry we had for sure. Gradually we wanted more. They say you can't fix someone. Seems you got.
He's never changed his flow.
Fuck my interviews and years
Oh.
ago. I'm all there.
Oh my god.
Fuck that week. Fuck all those foes.
Wow.
What is strange? I don't know it's for.
I apologize for pausing through so much in this, but I was literally talking about how this entire almost first minute, he did not change his flow. It was the backing was the only thing that kind of changed a little bit, but he kept almost very straight. And then suddenly we change into this part. Not only did everything in the back change and get very more aggressive, get much more aggressive and fast. Now he's a lot more aggressive.
I also want to mention that it almost is like this is kind of encapsulating the album so far is change. That would be a good word to put things, because everything changes and life changes. And as you go through these changes, you're growing and you're becoming a different person, and you're going apart from people. You're going with people. It's like
your feelings towards people change. You yourself change. And so like he's
constantly.
Like, fuck the interviews, and
he's talking about his past self.
Yes.
And he's not that person anymore, and he's just
One fit you right. Fuck my interviews and years ago. I'm all different, not that anymore.
So don't hold me to that standard.
That week, you fuck all those foes.
Uh-huh.
What is strange, I don't know this for.
They don't know you either.
Ooh, the change
Oh,
comes
and
out
now-
clear. Now we're back to the R&B jazz
Everything changed. Yeah.
piano bar.
Friends change, everyone changed. No, it's no strange.
Mm-hmm.
That's the world shape.
That's how it goes.
Hey, you gotta admit it.
Where are we going with
Don't you
this?
get it still? Someday a great grief will do come for you.
His voice.
He sounds very
And
hoarse.
you're not taught. You can't love someone like
Sounds like he's struggling to get it out.
That's all I can say to you.
What
Namjoon.
happened?
Namjoon, please.
What happened?
It hurts.
Oh, man.
I apologize. I would not have paused it so many times if I realized it was so short. I did not click to
I
that.
saw it was short. It's almost
I
like an
didn't-
interlude. Wonder what the album, the rest of the songs are going to sound like after this, because that was an interesting
Felt
mix up.
there was a lot of it felt like frustration, anger.
He sounded hoarse too, and the way he
The
was
last
like,
part, it kind of hurt me. Like it was
Yeah.
almost like he was talking
The way
on
he
his
was
last
on-
breath. Like he did not take a deep breath in before he spoke. He brought like just one breath, and then he got all those words out before he took another breath. Is what it felt like when you were just running out of breath and you get as deep as you know, until you're out of breath anymore. Okay, so I guess let's continue with the rest of this album.